Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Halo Infinite Recon Getaway set. Now this was, I believe, the first set of the Infinite Wave that was revealed. It was put out on the Mega Construx gallery. Some of the employees put pictures of it, and it was met with a pretty positive reaction overall because it's a small set, and we get a pair of Marines and a pair of extremely massable Covenant troops. So that makes it pretty desirable. Box is pretty simple. It is a 2-in-1, and we can see that it comes with 4 figures, Halo Infinite branding. It's an interesting shape, kind of tall. There's more shots of the figures. Rotated around there. You can see the weapons that it comes with. We can see there's some new suspension, and there's an alternate build, which we'll take a look at a little later. More 2-in-1. And one thing I found interesting about this set is it's got a tab to be hung. So that's kind of cool. All right, well, let's just go ahead and crack this open. Can I break the tape? No, I can't. I need a knife. Maybe this will help. Alrighty. Make sure to cap this up again, because last thing you want to do is leave an open knife lying around. Fold this open. Alright, that's all of it. So we've got unnumbered bags, but that's fine because it's such a small set. I don't think there's really any getting confused. Figures, a mostly built Grunt, which is nice, but I am a little worried because in the past I've had real bad trouble with these neck joints being slightly too large and the head not fitting and almost breaking. So fingers crossed that this guy is fine. Fully built Elite, which is great actually because these guys are a pain in the butt to put together. Only figures we'll really have to build are the Marines. And then the instructions, unlike the past couple Infinite sets which had booklets, this kind of has a big, huge sheet. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this built and then we'll take a closer look. There we go, all the figures are out and built. The Mongoose is built. We've got another brick separator. It seems like every set in this wave, except for the customizer packs, comes with one. And surprisingly, there were no extra parts. It's just everything you need for the Mongoose. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figures, starting with that Grunt. So for once, the Grunt did not have a problem with the head. It moves just fine, which I have built, let's see, 3 or 4 of these guys, and so far he is the only one that didn't have any issues. And this is the same style Grunt as we saw in the CE blind bags, which actually, let me get one of those guys in here now. That's one of the blind bag Grunts. Same color, except the skin tone is different now. This guy had gray. The new guy has kind of a flesh color. And, you know, the skin color variance is a good thing. And we've got just a purple needler. And that's about it. The only other thing of note to point out is that this guy is labeled a Grunt conscript. Next up is the Elite Mercenary. And, you know, Elites are pretty scary as it is, but adding Mercenary to their name makes them even more intimidating. And from the first looks that I got of this set, I thought this was just going to be another Elite like from the CE blind bags, but I was surprised to find that is not the case. The armor colors are quite different, actually. This guy is a lot darker, a lot more muted, His undersuit is black. The skin tone is mostly the same, although this new guy has a little bit more of a yellow gray. And there is no print on the inner arms at all. So that's pretty interesting, and I'm glad it's not just pulled straight from the blind bag series. That would have felt a little lazy to me. And then his weapon is plasma rifle. It's one of those squishy kinds, which I'm not a huge fan of, but you know, it's a weapon and it works. And then we've got a pair of Marines, and I'm going to start with this guy because I find him, out of the two, a little more interesting, just because he has a dark-skinned head. That's so cool. That's really, really cool. That adds so much diversity to the Marines. That opens up a ton of possibilities for custom civilian figures. That's really cool. Now let's actually zoom in and take a closer look at that head. That is a really, really nice looking head. The eye print is done pretty well. Come on, can we get it to focus? There we go. The eyebrows are done really well. You can see the wrinkles in the forehead. All the sculpt of the face. He's got some ears. A hole in his head. But just looking at it from the front, that's not too much of an issue. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Marine from the Warthog Rally set. And they have the same head mold, I believe. That looks like the same mold. But to be honest, it looks a lot better in this darker color than this lighter one. It just does. I don't know why, but the detail stands out a little bit more. So that's really awesome. And then, you know, we've got the removable helmets. Pop down over top. It looks like he means business. The visor print here is okay. It's not as good as what I saw with the Warthog Rally, but it's acceptable. The gray print is excellent. The one problem I did have with this guy is on this arm, there was this huge piece of excess plastic that did not get trimmed off when he came out of the mold, and so I had to trim it myself to be able to get the shoulder armor to fit, which is a bit of a bummer. That shouldn't really be necessary. He's got the new, well, they're not really new, they're Call of Duty legs, which means this guy is taller than most Spartans. Foot can be angled, just like we saw in the Warthog Rally. His weapon is a tactical shotgun, and he has some very nice looking shoulder armor, which I believe is new. Our second Marine is slightly different. He has no shoulder armor. I believe he even has different upper arms. Yeah, he does. He has different upper arms. Visor print on this guy is good as well, although there is kind of like a scratch or something on the paint, which it doesn't look too bad. You could always chalk that up to battle damage because these Marines go through a lot. The chest plate and everything is the same, but again, you can see some spots where they didn't get trimmed properly. Same legs. SMG for the weapon, and the most interesting thing about this dude is the fact that he has a beard. That is so cool. Like I said in my review of the Warthog Rally, that this dude was the most generic out of all of them. And yeah, that's really the case. I mean, he's just your typical white Marine. But this guy's got a beard, the other guy's got darker skin. That's just really cool. Put them side by side. That's really neat. Now, I'd like to see them start releasing hair pieces so that we can have these guys without helmets on. But for now, I'd say that this set is already worth buying just to get these two Marines. But we still got the Mongoose to talk about, and I'm going to say right off the bat that this is the first Mongoose that I have ever gotten. And I think I waited till the right time because unlike past Mongoose sets, this one has suspension, or sort of suspension. You can kind of steer it, tilt it, and it turns. How cool is that? Like on such a small build, you get that kind of suspension. Now, I was kind of hoping that it would be almost posable, like have some stiffness to it, so I could pose it, you know, like jumping with the wheels angled, but it's just like a ball joint. It's kind of loose. You can see under there, moves all around, which is not bad. It's just, I was hoping for some posing options and not just play options. But as it is, that is really cool. And the fact that you can kind of steer it is even cooler. We've got some bars on the front that's kind of similar to the Warthog. And we have seating for the two Marines. So let me go ahead and put those guys on there. There we go. They're all mounted up. Sit on there pretty nicely. I've heard some people complain about how these handlebars look, and I will agree that they are a little on the basic side, but they work. Plus, you could rotate them a little bit if you wanted to, just on the stud, make it look like he's steering. The back seat is a little bit fiddly to get the guy onto. It doesn't look very comfortable, and those back handlebars could have been a little bigger, I think. But they both fit. Have this guy kind of in gunner position just in case, you know, they get ambushed. It's pretty cool. And changing the way they're sitting can kind of make it tilt. So like right now with the way he's leaning, we can kind of make it stay tilted that direction, which is cool. I'm not sure what this little bar here is supposed to be. I really have no idea at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove this guy so you can see what it looks like with just one person on it. That's pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. The only real big downside to this build is the fact that there is really nowhere to store the shotgun for this guy, unless you rigged up some way to put it on his back. There's not really any way, unless, I mean, I suppose you could do that. That sort of works. It's a little on the ugly side, but I suppose that could work. So there is an alternate build for the Mongoose, as you saw in the box, but I'll take a look at that in another video. For now, what is the final verdict on this set straight out of the box, just like the instructions say? And, you know, I'd give this a solid 9 out of 10. Only reason I'm not giving it a 10 out of 10 is because of the production issues with the Marines. That's just sloppy work. I mean, it's not that huge of a deal to cut these guys out of their molds cleanly and not leave tons of excess plastic. But as an army builder, this is fantastic. The price is fantastic. In, you know, amassing an army of Marines and Covenant has never been easier thanks to the set. And like I said, the diversity between these two Marines is great. I love the way that they're making the Marines not just, you know, kind of faceless soldiers. These guys have got character. Like I said, I particularly like the fact that there's a darker skin tone now. That's really awesome. And the beard looks great. This guy kind of gives me Solid Snake vibes with that beard. The Elite and the Grunt are mostly just the figures from the Combat Evolved blind bag series, but with just enough changes to make it so it doesn't feel lazy. So overall, this is a fantastic set, really solid, and you can't really go wrong with getting this one. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.